Hey guys, I'm Danielle and this is Bookara, and I am officially making videos again. And I thought, what better way to get back into the swing of things than to do a tag that was created by my friend Ian at Ian the Reader. This is the 1 through 10 TBR challenge. Okay, so I will say that I'm trying to set myself up for success with this. Ian has mapped out this challenge. You do 1 through 10, starting with like a book that's 100 and some pages, 200 and some, 300 and some, 400 and some, and so on. And he is actually going to be reading those books in order. I'm not. uh, that's just not gonna work for me. I'm sorry. So I also wanted to mention that not only did Ian encourage me to do this tag, but Stacy at the Chapter Conundrum, and I think Fina at Fina Reads even at one point wanted to tag me in this, and at the time I was like, no, I'm good. But I'm doing it. I'm late to the party. Everybody's shocked, I know. But you know, I'm a firm believer in better late than never. So without further ado, let me let you know what I'm reading. And I should say, some of these I've actually either already read or am in the process of reading. Again, this is a challenge that's supposed to take place all through the year of 2026. And considering we're already a month in, it makes sense that I might have already started. For my 100-page book, I have Crandall's Castle by Betty Wren Wright. This one is, I think, 177 pages. I actually already finished this one. I picked it up at a used book sale at my library, and oh yeah, my brain is all over the place, but I do want to say that kind of the point of this challenge is to get some of your physical books off of your shelves. So this one did help me with that. Sadly, I didn't like this at all. I really, really didn't like it. I did not think the writing was great. I think there were some things that were mentioned that just didn't really make sense, or we didn't see any like resolution to. So I can't say I recommend it. It is dual perspective, two young girls, like early adolescents, Charlie and Sophia. There's a haunted house basically that Charlie's uncle is wanting to turn into kind of like a B&B type thing. Anyway, that's mainly the gist of it. So for my 100-pager, 2 stars. And then for my 200-page book, I am reading Is This Autism? A Guide for Clinicians and Everyone Else. And this is by Donna Henderson and Sarah Wayland with Jamel White. Your girl is actually on the spectrum. And so I'm just trying to, you know, learn some more about myself, maybe read something that's very affirming and can help me, you know, navigate this life, because the first 42 years haven't been a whole lot of fun. So currently reading this for my 200-pager. Okay, so I'm going to mention books 3 and 4. They're actually going to be mentioned out of order in the series, but 2 books in the same series. So for my 300-pager, I will be reading A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. If you don't know, Bookstara Read-Alongs is reading the Wayfarers series for the first part of this year, and we've actually just finished a book discussion for my 400-pager, which is A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. That is one of the, we've been doing Bookstara read-alongs since 2021, and I felt like that discussion last night was one of our best ones yet. Really had a good time with that. So I'll be reading A Closed and Common Orbit in February, and then for my 400-pager, I did read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and I gave that one 4 stars. Also, if you don't know what the Wayfarers series is about, it's adult sci-fi, and in the first book, we follow kind of a group of misfits that you know, it's like found family vibes. I've heard the series referred to as hope punk, which I really like, but it was like cozy sci-fi to me. I compared it to like House in the Cerulean Sea, but in space. So having a lot of fun with that so far. For my 500-page book, this is gonna make a couple people happy. I am going to be reading Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This book has been recommended to me by Chaz at Bookish Chaz and also Amy at A Star Reads. I tried to pick this up not that long ago and it wasn't the time. So I feel like putting this on this challenge is going to be more incentive for me to finally pick it up. Do I know what this is about? I don't know. All I know is that my friends have said that this is a Danielle book and I have been intending to read it for way too long. So you have my word. Barring some, you know, catastrophic things that we don't even want to think about, I will be reading this book in 2026. Okay, and then this is me, you know, cheating a little bit. The next 3 books are a trilogy and I had planned to read them this year anyway. And I've already started. The 600-page book is going to be Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb. I am buddy reading Fitz and the Fool with Chaz at Bookish Chaz. We have been reading the entire Realm of the Elderlings together, and these books have just changed me like in a very, very good way. So yeah, can't really tell you what they're about because we're just that far in the series. These are the last 3 out of 16. So just trust me. If you haven't tried Hobb yet, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? So for 600 pages, Fool's Assassin. For 700 pages, Fool's Quest. And then for 800 pages, we have Assassin's Fate. Woohoo! Okay, so books for 900 some pages and 1,000 some pages, I struggled because I don't have anything on my physical TBR that is that length. The longest book I had was like, again, 800 and some. I have tons that are in like the 500s. Anyway, so I had to do a little searching. I even checked my Goodreads want to read list, and the longest book on there is 800 some. So not helpful at all, but staying true to the challenge, I did a little homework. My 900-page book is the only one that I'm like, I'm not sure I reserve the right to swap it out. I would enjoy some feedback. So the one that I chose is The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. It just sounds like my speed. I do have a Ken Follett book that has been lent to me. I think both my mom and my grandma have read this one. I've never tried him. So the Pillars of the Earth, from what I gather, is, you know, it's a book about building a monastery or a cathedral, but not about that. It's really focuses heavily on the characters and their stories, which definitely sounds like my speed. And it seems to be very well loved, liked, enjoyed. So if you have any feedback about that book or my choice for my 900-pager, I'd love to hear it. Or if you have another suggestion, I would also love to hear that too, because then I can look into that and see how I feel. For my 1,000 some page book, I am going with Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. This is one of Graham's favorites, and so to read this book finally would be very meaningful to me. I feel like maybe I've seen bits and pieces of the movie adaptation, but like overall, I'm not overly familiar with the story. So all good. And I do want to say a couple things real quick. The page numbers, you know, it kind of just depends what version of the book you're looking at. So these last couple especially, I went with the length of the book that my library said that they had on hand. And I also wanted to mention, back to Is This Autism? That book was recommended to me by Karen at the Roving Reader, and I just wanted to give her a shout out before I forgot. So, in reverse order, I will be reading for the 1 through 10 TBR challenge created by Ian the Reader: Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb, Fool's Quest by Robin Hobb, Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers, Is This Autism by Donna Henderson and Sarah Wayland with Jamel White, and Crandall's Castle by Betty Wren Wright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around even through my kind of time of silence. I've been around, I just haven't been making videos. So, and I didn't want to come back unless I was committed to being consistent again, and I am. I can confidently say that I am. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe. I am supposed to tag a couple people before I go, and I'm just gonna tag my homegirls, Amy at A-Star Reads and Paige at Pages with Paige. Girls, if you don't mind being late to the party, I would love to see your version of this tag. I'll see you all soon. Bye.